broke, we were starting to talk about your, we'll call them epic battles.
Including my epic battle with Governor Christie.
And those are the ones that I'm talking about right now, because it wasn't just one battle. It was a number of battles you had with him. But let's talk about how you beat the odds with him with sports gambling.
Sure. He actually vetoed a bill of mine for sports betting. And it upset so much the Republican legislators from Monmouth County, which is a solidly Republican county, but also is the home of Monmouth Racetrack, which would have closed in a couple of years without sports betting. So Senator Joe Carrillos, good guy, Republican, but still a good guy, went to Governor Christie and said, Governor, we are going to override your veto. Now, governors don't never want to have their veto overridden, because if you can override a governor once, you can do it 2, 3, 4. It's a free-for-all. They don't want that. So Christie said, okay, tinker with it, get it to me again, and if you read the book, I got it to him in 4 days. Put it on his desk, and then he finally started supporting it.
Tell the listeners about some of your allies, because you couldn't have done this alone.
Well, certainly Senate President Steve Sweeney, because I had to get emergencies in the legislature, and he was with me all the way. Then Assemblyman Troy Singleton was a big supporter, along with Assemblyman Ralph Caputo, who was a former casino executive. So he knew the issue very well. And, of course, the aforementioned Senator Joe Carrillos. So I had a lot of legislative support, Democrats and Republicans, and that's certainly what was needed in order to threaten Governor Christie with an override.
So I hate to get into how a bill becomes a law, but when you initially started drafting the bills, what year for a time reference?
Oh, God. So probably, I don't know what year, in 2012, I guess, somewhere around. I filed my first suit pro bono, and Governor John Corzine joined as a plaintiff. But then Christie defeated him. Christie refused to join.
Which none of us thought was going to happen, by the way. Or at least I didn't.
I did. As a former Democratic state chair, I saw what was going on. In any event, then he refused to join, and I was bounced because of standing. Thank you, Governor Christie. No, thank you. However, I also lost because New Jersey's Constitution did not allow sports betting. So the judge said, you have to amend the Constitution, which I did. Again, got through both houses, which you need a supermajority. So again, Senate President Sweeney, now Senator Troy Singleton, got it through. We put it on a ballot, and it got, I think, 70, close, either 1% or the other, 70% approval. This is something the public wants. It's their right. We should benefit from it and not organized crime-run sports betting rings or offshore internet sites.
What has this meant economically for the state of New Jersey?
Well, it's brought, first of all, hundreds of millions of dollars for our state treasury, but equally, if not more important, jobs. Those jobs are back in Atlantic City, and most of them have returned. 2 or 3 casinos have opened or will be opening. Again, and what's important about our racetracks is not just the jobs that go there. New Jersey, here's a good fact for about New Jersey. We have more acres of horse farms than any state in the nation. We would have lost those if the industry died. That's how important sports betting has been.
And when you talk about jobs, we're not talking about the people who just merely take the money and hand you a ticket for a bet slip. We're talking about the people who work the restaurants,
exactly,
facilities, park the cars, maintenance. We're talking about jobs that people need.
And high-tech jobs as well.
And a lot of
high-tech good high-tech jobs and shopping opportunities, because people are now coming to Atlantic City year-round. What I used to say was, what annoyed me is during Super Bowl week, you could not get a room in Las Vegas, but Atlantic City was a ghost town. No more. You won't be. And I also said, book your rooms now, because I knew we were going to win ultimately. Book your rooms now, because for the Super Bowl, Atlantic City will be packed, and it has been.
I will give them a plug. Ocean Resort, which is formerly known as Revel in Atlantic
Of course,
City,
yes.
failed. Beautiful building. Failed. They were on the brink of potentially failing again. They have some great new ownership. I was there last weekend. They were sold out. You know why they were sold out?
Sports betting.
Sports betting.
Without a doubt.
And the restaurants were full. The shops, they have some great retail shopping there. The casino floor was full. And the crowd that was there was a very peaceful crowd there watching their favorite pastimes.
And it's also a more mixed crowd. It's also a younger crowd. Casino gambling is losing interest in the millennials and folks a lot younger than you or me. Certainly a lot younger than me. So it's a great boon and something that I hate to imagine, and I don't want to imagine. I don't have to imagine what Atlantic City would be like if we didn't have sports betting.
Senator, we started the show talking about service, 40 years of service. And what I want people to know is who Senator Raymond J. Lesniak is. And I say this with a specific example in mind. I want you to talk about the Raymond J. Lesniak experience.
Well, I couldn't. Oh, the whole experience. I thought you were going to my institute.
I am.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't just leave the ledge. By the way, I ran for governor and lost. Phil Murphy beat me. Outspent me by $35 million. Those things happen.
Sure.
But I couldn't. I couldn't leave public service behind and just play golf the rest of my life. So I started the Lesniak Institute for American Leadership at Kean University, and we teach advocacy. We, the younger generation, by the way, our democracy is starting to, we are failing because so many people are failing in a democracy because we have such a low turnout. So what we do at the Lesniak Institute is encourage, inspire, and teach students to get involved and take action to turn your passions into actions.
You've also been on the forefront of high school for children or young people in recovery.
I started the Raymond J., the first public recovery school in the state of New Jersey, the Raymond J. Lesniak Experience, Strength, and Hope Recovery High School, where kids with substance use disorder can get an education in a sober and safe environment, where they get peer support instead of peer pressure to use when they come back from rehab and go back to their public schools.
We're running out of time, but give me one very quick example of a success story from your high school.
Our first graduate is in her junior year at Rutgers University. Students with substance use disorder, 80% of them, who when they go back to their public schools, drop out. 80% of ours graduate and go on to higher education. I'll be there for her graduation at Rutgers to hand her her diploma. That's the most exciting time.
Our alma mater.
For course. Go Rutgers, and we're going to make the NCAA tournament next year.
Absolutely. So we could have done a segment on each one of your pieces of legislation, your entire footprint that you've had on not just New Jersey, but the bordering states and the rest of the country that's followed suit. You could write a book on any one of those items. But today we talked about beating the odds. And we got a quick overview of the other areas, but I'm looking forward to having you back, and I definitely want to have you back on the show.
I want to be back. I want to talk about criminal justice reform also.
We're going to do that, and we're going to see if we can get our friend Governor McGreevey involved in that.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
Thank you for appearing on the show. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Senator Raymond Lesniak, Adam's special guest here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Before we say goodbye, one quick reminder. Beating the Odds, the epic battle that brought legal sports betting across America. You can meet the senator on the night of the NCAA Championship, April 8th. And Senator, that you will be where on that Monday night?
At the Meadowlands Racetrack.
You'll be at the Meadowlands Racetrack. We look for you there. That's going to do it for the Adam Malamut Show here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. On behalf of our special guest for the full hour today, and of course our gracious host, Adam Malamut, I'm Joe Krause. See you next time, everybody. Next time, everybody. Next time, everybody.